am a massive advocate of robust debate that might change your mind.
There's the most brilliant podcast on everything we're talking about called J.K. Rowling, The Witch Trials.
I've heard it. It's wonderful.
That's become really normal, shaming other humans. And I think we forget how unbelievably dangerous that is for the beneficiary of that shame.
No, we're not having any of that. We're not associated with that. And I went, oh, okay, because I know J.K. a bit. And she went, you need to catch up, Dawn. You need to catch up. I am a massive advocate of robust debate that might change your mind.
That's gone out the window too.
What? But that's the best thing in the world.
Correct, yeah.
That's how we govern, or should. It's not how we govern anymore. But the whole point is, I sit here with you, you have a different opinion to me, you have a different experience to me, and by listening to you, and also knowing, and this is key, knowing that your intent is good. If I suspect your intent is not good, or there's another purpose to your intent, of course I'm going to be suspicious. And again, human beings operate on 1,000 sophisticated levels. So I'll be feeling a bit of that as you start telling me your opinions. I'll think, she's got another agenda. But if your intent is good, and we sit here and you tell me your other opinion or how you came to it, I'm going to understand that.
Yeah, and could still happily disagree. Lovely.
Could happily disagree, or could change my mind and agree. And that would be a win for both. But it's impossible if what we've got to do is hunker back into our positions, defend them by spitting and being furious, and then blaming and cancelling.
Yeah.
That I don't know how to be like that.
And shaming, I think that's become really normal, shaming other humans. And I think we forget how unbelievably dangerous that is for the beneficiary of that shame. I think we can remember every time we've been shamed in our lives more than probably many other memories.
They're
and I was thinking,
stick to us.
I was thinking about it reading your book. I remember this really harmless moment, but being probably 5 or 6 at school and drawing a picture of a house as I'd been told to do. And my dad, who was a sign writer, used to kind of sketch and use this real sort of wishy-washy way of using his pencil. So I thought, well, I'm just going to copy my dad. He's a professional. And I got so told off and shamed in front of the class for not colouring it in completely and neatly. And that's something that happened when I was 5. We don't forget these moments.
No, we don't.
And I think that's luckily slowly coming out of the parenting model and the school model. But it hasn't come out of how we're communicating on social media.
No, it hasn't. But as you have grown through that and remember the sting of that awful moment, you also know now as an adult that that person was wrong to do that to you. So you might forgive them for it because they got it wrong. And you have to hope with good intent, they had some other agenda. They mistook your creativity. They're
having a shit day.
Having a shit day. Anything.
Yeah.
Let's forgive that because that can go. But you know as an adult they were wrong. You don't have to carry it as you were wrong.
Yeah.
It's not your shame to have.
No.
It's their shame to have.
But I think as adults, we conflate the two. We don't know what our own opinion is anymore, and we actually think the person that shamed us is probably right. And I've definitely felt like that as a grown adult.
Yeah.
And I still find that tricky to unpick sometimes. Like, you know, even if you know that your intent was good, but you still got it wrong, which happens all the time for all of us. Our intent's good, but we get it a little bit off. We're not quite sure what we're talking about. But when you've been shamed, I think it's a really tricky situation. My instinct is to hide, go into my shell. I'm never going to speak again. I don't want to say anything or move into sort of scary territory. I think it's a really tricky thing to know yourself and go, but I know that, yes, I got it wrong, but I know my intent was good. Yeah. It's really tricky. You've got to have guts to do that.
We don't trust each other that as a base level that your intention is good.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to believe about other humans.
Same.
You know, do you want to believe they meant well, but they got it a bit wrong?
Yeah.
And that makes it forgivable then. I mean, I genuinely think we're being forced into corners where I can smell my own cowardice. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I've never been cowardly, I hope, but I'm starting to be that because I'm being circumspect about what I will support or not in case it causes trouble.
Yeah.
And even thinking about the timing of when I might say such a thing, or what might be cherry picked out of this and lambasted against me. And that forces us to shut up.
I know.
And we're not going to shut up. Haven't we lived long enough? As women, especially,
I know.
We that's the last thing we should do is shut up, or put baby in the corner.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be back in the corner. And yet I am in the corner, and I really dislike it about myself and about this cultural malaise, where I just think, I'd like to support that person in what they just said there. That's going to be taken wrong because there's a whole gang of people that don't like this person. Then I'm going to be in their gang and they won't like me in that gang. And also, can I be bothered with the huge maelstrom that will come? But that means some people who are being brave enough to speak up are alone.
Yeah.
Because those of us who might support them can't take on all the problems it might bring.
That's shitty...
That's cowardly.
Load of crap we've got ourselves into here.
Well, how has it happened? How have people given their lives so that we could vote? How have people done so many things to push forward, and now we're in this place? It's ludicrous. Like you, I don't know how to unpick it. I remember, I've got a lot of young people in my life, and some of the young people in my life are quite... confrontational about exactly these kind of things, and I'm up for that. I want to know what the thinking is. I want to understand, and I want to learn, and I want to have my say when I think I've got a handle on it, and be heard, in equal time. But I remember once I did a podcast with somebody actually, who at the end of the podcast, she said to me something. I can't even remember exactly what it was about now. But it was something, and it was when we'd finished recording and we were talking about, I can't remember. We were talking about I think it was, we were talking about J.K. Rowling, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And this person said to me, no, we're not having any of that. We're not associated with that. And I went, okay, because I know J.K. a bit. And I said, okay, because she used this terminology and we're not doing that's unacceptable. I said, I don't even know that term. What is that? And she went, you need to catch up, Dawn. You need to catch up. People can't be constantly teaching you how to be, because this is not okay, and you need to catch up. And I left it all thinking, okay, do I need to catch up? Is that right? I do need to catch up, and that is true. But I also need to be taught. I need to learn.
And also, we can't know everything. There's loads of things. There's loads of moments where I go, can you... I don't know. And that's become another thing. It's almost like you're not allowed to say, I don't know anymore. I don't know about this subject.
I don't know.
We're not allowed to say it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah. And yet it's very powerful to say that, especially when you don't know.
Yeah,
that's
completely.
better than pretending you do know.
Completely.
And it's certainly better than forming an opinion about something you don't know.
I know.
And I'm just saying, please, especially you younger folk, please inform me. And explain this to me so that I can understand it and not make this mistake again. But don't tell me to catch up.
No. Do you know what? There's on the J.K. Rowling note, there's the most brilliant podcast on everything we're talking about called J.K. Rowling, The Witch Trials.
I've heard it. It's wonderful.
It's one of the best podcasts I've ever listened to in my life. It's
J.K.
balanced.
Her feet are held to the fire.
Yeah.
And because the woman, I can't remember her name.
I know, she's a fantastic speaker.
That she is the woman who presents it. Was one of the reasons she's brilliant for this is because she understands hate.
Yep, she was
she was part of the Westborough.
That's it, Westborough Church. Yeah,
Methodist or something. Baptist, whatever it was.
Baptist Church.
Who were the most hated family that Louis Theroux interviewed, didn't he? And I was surprised when I realised that's who it was. And I thought, of course, she's the right person for this, because she's been loathed.
Yeah, but she also knows that she got it wrong, that she was wrong in her views before, and she's extremely explicit in saying that without any shame.
She is.
She's like, I got it wrong.
She is, and she wants to understand how she places everything in context in terms of history.
Yeah,
what was going on in our world? Who the loudest, shiniest, loudest, most colourful voices are, which happened to be J.K. at a particular time. Who made her mistakes, but who is also a very good person with a remarkable history of all kinds of things and has paid a huge price and whatever. And part of me thinks this is the exact situation where robust debate would help us all.
Which I think that podcast is, because you've got every corner of the spectrum covered in terms of different voices and people coming on to have their say, as well as JK. And I thought it was so balanced and there was no narrative forced upon you.
No.
I think everybody who listened to that whole series came away going, wow, I've got a lot to think about. And actually, I'm still not sure.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of mulling it all over.
Yeah.
And that
you
rarely
can still
happens.
take offence and you can still be outraged.
Yeah.
And you can, but at least you've had lots more facts than you ever did. I agree with you. That is a terrific podcast.
But that's a really good example of how we should be talking about everything.
Agree.
Just all discussing everything with the anger taken out, because I didn't feel like any of those voices or contributors came at it with anger.
Yeah.
They were all really up for having a proper good debate and also talking about their personal stories, their lived experience. And, you know, I love listening to other people's stories. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother doing this podcast. But there's only so much, I guess, you can take from that. I don't have your lived experience. I don't have last week's guest lived experience, but I'll listen and I'll learn.
Yeah.
And that's all we can do.
There
is a cap to that where we go, that's all I can do is listen and learn.
Agree.
I can't feel those feelings or embody it. And I think we're in such a muddle with all of that.